Okay, I'm just going to read the story for this part because it's mucking up everything entirely, so hopefully it'll work with me doing this. Okay, Dave is going to read an excerpt of Complacency of the Leonard. Friglish bothered his beard as if kinking a hitch in a long silk windsock. A more pedestrian audience would pass the exhibitor's nervous compulsion. Behaviour to petition contempt among the reasonable. He was, however, not surrounded by the reasonable, but the wise. A distinction in manner that will forever be the difference in history's garland of treasured follies. As a matter of fact, his caterer fellow wizards were all putting similar moves on their beards as well. The practice would evince thoughtfulness, sagacity even, if they didn't do it all the time. Standing in line at the bank, shooing squirrels from the bird feeders. Few occasions were safe. Zazapan inspected the clue. A single piece of evidence cradled in his coriaceous old man palms. It was a human bone, not striking in a tale that told alone so much as that told by the thousands like it, festooning the marshy soil of the mass grave. The grisly expanse bore the texture of a decadent dessert, like one of Smarmy's formidable custard trifles wobbled out on wheels for the holidays, to the dismay of a small nation. "You are certain of this?" asked Friglish. Despite what he was doing with his beard, he was, in fact, immersed in meaningful contemplation. "I'm afraid I am becoming more so with each terrible tick groused by that gaudy timepiece slung around your neck." In case it wasn't clear, Friglish wore a clock Zazapan didn't care for. It was magic. The massacre of Sisk Nelf was not as written. "What has you convinced it was the hand of our disciples in this blackness?" Executus chimed in. "I believe a fat face stammered, eyes darting with the guilt of a thief in the throes of an unravelling alibi. "I can summon a more pressing line of inquiry." "No, Smarmy. Nobody was in the mood for a sticky bunt loaf just now." Zazapan's ears fell insubstantial to any line of inquiry, pastry-oriented or otherwise. His abstruse contour carved a pondering shape in the fog-carpeted centuries dead. His 11 contemporaries, too, embraced a muted consternation of their great predicant scholar. Few wizards kept sharper adumbratives, or read them with such lucidity. When Zazapan treated men with silence, it was seldom unrepaid. But the wise and reasonable alike. It was harrowing to entertain. Zazapan the Learned's storied complacency of wizards was marked for grander descendants. Disciples hand-picked, vetted by Ockite the bona fide, and tested by Gastrel the Magnificent. The 12 sweetest and most studious children a pair of elderly eyes could give their sparkle. Not the ragged gutter snipes so oft harvested by the common obscenity, those vituperative little beggars with hearts to corrupt as dropped bananas brown. That these chosen youngsters would turn was not merely unthinkable, but something of a roundhouse to the temporal bones of upper indifference's high chambers of soft-skulled prophets. His wisdom-savage brow pruned further with recount of his many lessons to would-be successors. Lessons to advance humanity's elucidation and prosperity. An outcome this bleak trail now painfully obviated. There were few puzzles the learned could not suspend and dissect in the recondite manifold beneath his extremely expensive pointy hat. Daring to pitch his cherished pupils in with the foul melange of history's rogues, the heretofore abstract scourge that built up civilizations with ungodly magic and tore them down with joyful malice, would prove an intellectual trespass to make his calcium-deficient bones quake. And more daring yet was the only question that now mattered. Could a bunch of bearded, scraggly old men in preposterous outfits hunt them down? He didn't have an answer. Only a simple observation so blunt and uncharacteristically jejune. For the lauded sage, it was breathtaking in its self-evidency. "We're going to need more wands." Wow. Think of something better. And I'm going to leave it here. Bye. Hope you enjoyed this, my shortest part I've ever made.